Hello, we are on day 5. Yay, stop it, thumbs up. I get it. Sorry. I'm gonna get through day 5 without re-recording. Like this is like my third time. The dog has barked. The dog has chewed up my shoe. Yeah. So I was on a roll and then day 5 hit. So let's go. Day 5, we're in multiplication and division. Today we'll focus on multiplication, including area, and yeah, I have moved all the shoes. So let's go. We're not pausing this. If the dog finds another shoe, so be it. We will go barefoot. So when we start multiplication, it will be Friday, March 21st. Don't forget to add your name, email, and number. The takes we will use are 3.4K, 3.4F, and 3.4G. Okay. Our sound check for this lesson: can you identify the total amount of coins without counting each one? Then, what math strategy did you use to get your answer? So, yes, it is coins. I know you're like, hey, you said that we weren't using money. It's not like money. I promised myself I would harness the power of my brain and get through this. So singing is not doing that. But it's not like a specific amount of coins. What we're really wanting them to do is identify equal groups, use multiplicative thinking, and then talk about that. So we're wanting them to identify, hey, there are X number of coins, and in each group there are, and there are you see what I'm picking up. You pick up what I'm dropping down. So for our vocabulary, they're just doing Nearpod matching. So it's pretty simple. They'll have area, model, array, associative property, cumulative property, and distributive property. So they'll just go over those vocabulary terms and then review the examples. The examples and the terms are exactly the same. So just they're matching this. It is easy peasy lemon squeezy. 1 second. So rock star thinking, where it's multiplication and division. Well, multiplication today. Yeah, we're wanting them to continue not being number pluckers in these word problems. We're wanting them to look for those tricky McTrickersons. And so we're strongly encouraging them to use the cube strategy. Sorry, I bit my tongue. Now, with that cube strategy, is it going to help a student who has math anxiety, or who is just not strong in math, or who even has a math learning disability? I mean, it won't hurt them, no, but it's not necessarily going to help them either. I say, and please do not, I hope you do not misunderstand me. I say this with a lot of I don't like to admit this a lot. I do a lot of masking. I don't admit my failures. I have obviously my entire life, but I have very not extreme, but like I have a math learning disability. I've had it my entire life. Obviously, you don't just like pop up on a Sunday morning and have that as a grown adult. But I've had that my entire life. Mine is dyscalculia, which is akin to the math version of dyslexia. I don't process numbers. a lot of things in math I don't get. It is very obvious. The more frazzled I get, especially in teaching, you're like, oh, why are you doing this? I'm like, good question. But I can mask it really well. I script a lot, especially math. I script a lot of what I say and what I do in math. I highly advise that. I do it for reading too, but when I think about these, especially when it comes to math, I think about my students and I think about these strategies. And like I said, would the cube strategy ever hurt a student? No, it wouldn't hurt. But it's a student like me, a third grade Trisha. It will not hurt them, but it's not going to help them, because if you don't know ultimately how to solve a problem, you're going to end up sitting there just not knowing how to solve a problem. So a cube strategy is never going to teach a student how to solve a problem. Now, for the most of our students, they're not going to be like a third grade Trisha or even a Trisha. And I'm going to work through this problem, and hopefully you'll see what I'm talking about. So there are eight squares on each row of the game board. One row of the game board is shown. How many squares are on 8 rows of the game board? Sorry, I'm getting flustered, just being honest. So here we go. If we're using the cube strategy, C, circle any numbers or units. Okay, here I know to circle the numbers. I got that. I'm solid like a rock on that. 8. Underline the question. I'm just going to highlight it. I know there's a question mark. Solid like a rock. Box in the clue words. Many. I'm not that solid, but yeah. Maybe wrong. Okay, Trisha's playing around. Okay, I don't want there to be. There we go. I think that's going to be my clue word. Oh, wait, I want. Okay, apparently that didn't work. I was trying to be creative and box it in. I'm going to say how many. It's my clue word. And solve. And there I sit. Because I don't know my strategy. I don't know my operation. And so I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, a few videos ago, when I was talking about, like, at this conference, we were told about another strategy, which I thought was a great strategy. I was like, I would love to use this strategy, but it was probably too late. It's probably not even probably. It's really too late to introduce it, without really throwing students into like a wrench of like a lot of strategies, and confusing them. That strategy is like asking a lot of extra questions. If we did this, and even in the questions, it says like come back, like do the cube strategy and then come back and ask follow-up questions, solve it. Even if you did just one problem as a group, and then come back, like work through the cubes and then come back and solve. If you came back and solved and asked some follow-up questions, like what is confusing about this problem? Now, I'm saying probably because of third grade Trisha, maybe even as a grown-up Trisha, I don't know if I would be willing to say, like, I don't know why that picture's there. Or I don't know what to do next. You know, I know what to do next because I know ultimately I can build 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. But without having that critical thought process, without having follow-up questions, I don't know, just sitting with a group, I would get there. So having questions like, what is confusing about this question? If this question could talk to you, what do you think it's saying to you? If you could talk to this question, what would you say to it? Why didn't you just finish building the game board? That is, by having questions like that ready in your back pocket, it helps our students who are struggling with math, who are coming in with missing pieces, who are coming in with learning disabilities. That's I'm trying to find the right words. That's doing what the cube strategy can't do. By answering those, I'm not re-recording, by having those follow-up questions, by explicitly working through the questions. Yes, sending them to tables, maybe working through the cube strategy, working through the problem, but coming back and explicitly working through it as a class. That's where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck. Allowing them to see your thought process. Also allowing students share theirs as well. I'm not discounting that, but they need to see some very solid, they need to see very explicit modeling at this point as well. So cube strategy is amazing, but they also need to see you modeling. So if that means you scripting out like some great questions, ChatGPT, like I said, that's my best friend. I might have broken it a couple of times, asking a lot of questions, but I model out all of my questions, and they're not like, they're basic sometimes. Like, how do I solve this on a third grade level? You know, how do I do this? And then I build up. So, and, you know, it's not saying that, I hope not to offend anyone. I think if we explicitly model and ask those critical thinking questions, we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck. So I hope I haven't said anything wrong. Hey, if I did, give me a call. Oh, let me erase that. I did. Let me just make sure I did. This is an area, obviously it's an area 1. This one also is an area 1, but they can either, I mean, it has all the information they need, but they could obviously either model it out, but they could also just do the multiplication if they need that. So it lets them choose their own path. And then, so this is, I thought I changed this one. It should be a scale of 1 to 4. But it's just a math rapid fire. So just that is their exit ticket. So it should be a scale of 1 to 4, but I'm not going to redo that. So you can fix it if you want to. With that being said, I hope if you're watching this, I hope you understand what I'm saying and I didn't upset anyone. I'm not discounting tables. I think they're amazing, and obviously they're throughout all of these activities. But I really think some solid explicit modeling of thought processes and things like that are really, really important. So there we go. Pasta to the pasta. Bye.